So good morning, everybody. Welcome to our weekly webinar. My name is Yevon. So I'm in Nelspruit at this moment giving training. My class is starting now at 9 o'clock. We are trying to get this information out to you guys as quick as possible. So just to quickly start, the first one is obviously starting off with this topic that we have today. This is regarding all of our audio and our sensing devices itself that are available as well now in the country. So there's quite a bit of new features that are available. So I would like to go through some of them quickly, as quick as possible, so I can multitask here, which is not possible because I am a guy. But anyway, moving forward. So first of all, let's talk about a little bit about the audio and the sensor stuff. So in the audio side, we've got quite a bit. So we have these devices. I just want to get my little laser out here. We got these devices in security. These microphones will later on, we will highlight them a little bit better for the public side itself. These are special sensors with microphones in them, and they are designed for security environment. This helps us to be able to understand that if there is maybe any sounds in a certain area, maybe someone climbing over a wall, whatever the case is, this device is there to pick it up. So the sound and the quality of that. Then we also have obviously our horn speakers itself that allows us to inform people that you can't be there or whatever the case is. Then we have our normal baseline of our audio equipment. This is with a little amplifiers. There's one for analog, one for IP. There's microphones. There's quite a bit, and we'll get into more detail. If you would like to know a little bit more about our professional equipment, please do contact us. This is still a new product line. There are some of the products the guys might be familiar with, but this is a new product line, but we do have this capability. From your microphones that are wireless to a audio mixing environment, to amplifiers, to speakers, etc. So we carry on. These ones are designed for boardroom in mind, so they're pretty cool. We have highlighted them before. Moving forward, just to let you know, there are other devices as well. So these devices can be used in any places. I know it says they're prison, but any shopping malls, school environments, we normally use these. But also we have the capability of construction sites. I don't know if you can really see so nicely. I just want to zoom in there. Give me a second. My PPT is crashing on me. And that's lovely. These PPTs. My apologies. So I wanted to highlight to you guys the bottom right-hand side. You'll see that there are these boxes with special balls on them with BT sets and also microphones and also built-in speakers. This allows us to use it for security for construction sites wherever they are, or any work environment that you might need as a rental type of thing. These products, there we go. Something is happening there. Something is happening. Let me close that. Let's do that. There we go. Now you can see it a little bit better. You also note that I put in there to say that this is for developed countries. So that's, Europe area, UK, Canada, Australia, those developed countries, not South Africa, because there's a technical reason behind it. This is a security box and pole, especially designed for that construction environment. But due to our country, there's a very big possibility that this might get stolen. So that's the reason why. But anyway, moving forward, carrying on with that. So there's multiple different types of existing speakers in public area, parking lot areas to warn people, to inform them any other information. In the analog side, for the audio sound systems itself that we have analog amplifiers with analog speakers to make it very convenient. We also have a hybrid version where you can connect it to the software through the network itself of that network amplifier itself. On that itself, we also have network speakers that can work with it. Each one has their own IP address that needs to be assigned and connected to Geek Central. And from there, you can do almost, well, not everything, but you can do a lot of things with it. Then also we have the network solution for that, where you can use existing infrastructure itself to manage how those IP speakers need to transmit, if they need to broadcast something, whatever the case might be. Then for the analog side, we have accessories. So it's not just the amplifier. We've got microphones. We've got proper speakers itself. There are different wattage on them as well. We got horn speakers to inform you, that's analog. We got ceiling mount speakers, and we got you know, these pillars as well. So kind of nice to have all those kind of options, as well as the same for network. So in the network, we've got proper communication through those LAN from 10 to 100 to 100 to 1,000. So that communication is available as well. And then part of that is just to explain the flexibility of it and how it works. So you can use on the analog multiple different things. So you can use in central. You can also use maybe a media player or control player, maybe your phone, maybe a USB stick, and that will obviously play the music through that. You can also use these IP speakers completely standalone. So from your software itself directly to the IP speakers, you can communicate, and it makes it very flexible and easy to use. We have obviously cameras with built-in speakers, and we know sometimes it's not very loud enough and you want to hear it from a further distance. This gives us the capability of using that IP communication with CCTV, so making it a bit more flexible. If you wanted to know what those model numbers are, and if you wanted to find out a bit more, please speak to your Hikvision representative. But these are the main network speakers. We also have this new one coming out with the 2 IP ports itself for communication, so making it a little bit easier. One thing to note, all the ones with the, I think it was the T or the E. I think it was the T at the back end. That will indicate to us that it has an alarm input trigger, which means that you can put up a recording on that, and then once you trigger that input, it will play that message, which is a nice little feature on these outdoor horn speakers. We also have that ceiling mount, like we said, easy connections, just like normal speakers would. So for analog side, makes it very convenient. So just to break down on that multi broadcasting that's available, so from live to a scheduled broadcast, as well as maybe alarm or emergency broadcast. We also have text to speech. That's a funny one. We'll get to that one now. So text to speech in different languages. So it's a little text box. You put information in there, but and it obviously mentions that whatever that you put into that box. Then we also have the built-in eMMC. So this is a built-in little SSD memory chip that's in there, that's got a certain size. So we go all the way up to 64 gig itself. So there's no need for you to put in an SD card anymore. Two-way communication, not on all the devices, but most of these devices has a built-in microphone. So you have two-way communication, pretty nice, especially for security environment. Maybe a shopping mall area where you can tell the person, please don't sleep on the bench, or sir, you forgot your bag behind you. From this country, your bag is already stolen. Anyway, moving forward, we also have that linking action for CCTV on that audio side. So it's very easy to manage these devices. Definitely have a look at it. Further on itself, so besides the linking action, so you can physically trigger an event itself. So you can, from your phone or your mobile device, you know, even if you don't have an event, you can still trigger it to play that audio to inform whatever the case is, or your own voice, as well as alarm trigger as well. So once the camera detects somebody, it will trigger and then play the message. So for perimeter protection, pretty cool. For environment and danger environment or dangerous environment, this is pretty cool to have that. Linking action for alarm, yes, we have that on the IP speakers, but please make sure that it is the AX Pro alarm system. This gives you the capability of our Hikvision alarm system. If you are not using a Hikvision alarm system, you can also use the input triggers, like I said. But not all the speakers do have them. Please speak to your Hikvision representative to have a look at which ones have the input. So that's from your camera straight to that speaker. Once the camera picks up something, it will trigger the speaker, and the speaker will play the message that was recorded or the default message that you selected. All right, moving forward, so nice and easy. So as I mentioned, we do have built-in speakers in the cameras, but for the distance size and the dBs, for the loudness of it, it's not that loud for that short environment. So IP speakers provide us that long distance, loud audio. It's also everyone can hear it from a further distance away. These devices can be configured and batch upgrade by the High Tool itself. My recommendation, if you are doing by the High Tool batch upgrade, my recommendation would be please make sure that the devices are in a controlled environment. What does that mean? It means that none of those devices, while you are updating them, can go offline because of electricity or internet or network or whatever the case might be. Configurations can be done by SADP tool. You can also log into the web browser on some of these devices, and also through your HIC Central Professional version as well. You can also go into these speakers and do configuration, which is very nice and convenient. Regarding that text-to-speech, like I mentioned, you have an option for either male or female voices. There's not a lot of differences, but you have the two options. You have a text box. This works, but if you are from, how can I say, for the team in Cape Town, my apologies. One of our clients went and typed into his box for every time someone gets close to property, he goes and says on the speaker, your master. Yeah, it doesn't do that next part. It's complicated. It doesn't understand it, so it doesn't sound right. Please make sure that you use decent language and also proper words. All right, so that's very important to remember. You can map it out as well on HIC Central for that two-way communication for your control room environment. So when you are doing that on the map itself, you click on the camera area, it will show you that you have a two-way broadcasting. You can either broadcast a two-way communication, press the button, and you communicate. All right. Moving forward, as I mentioned, the conventional ones that you guys are familiar with has the little slot there for SD card. These ones have a built-in SSD inside the speakers itself, so which is really convenient. Format itself, these are the different formats of audio files that it can be played. So definitely have a look at the information page that comes with these products. For the rest of the system in the topology itself, IP speaker can be communicated through multiple different devices. So from your HIC Central to IVMS to HIC Partner Pro to HIC Connect to your NVRs to IP speakers. And if your IP speakers, IP cameras, if your IP speakers do have the alarm input, it can be triggered by anything else, whether it's maybe an outside light or alarm system or another camera, it doesn't matter. All right, moving forward. So in that same sense itself, so for the license itself, my recommendation is please speak to your Hikvision representative regarding your license. So it is the IP address. So for every IP address, you need a license for that device. All right, so it's very straightforward and simple. Way that you can manage it's all in one system. So for any control room environment, you have that for audio and broadcasting, you have that maybe for music, you can have that for your seat speed, so it makes it convenient for you. The rest, where to use it, I think it's pretty straightforward that we can use it for security, shopping malls, for music and notifications and emergencies. Very important. Then in the analog side, it's pretty straightforward. Analog system, you can use it in multiple different little shops in different environments to just play music or just to announce, someone's coffee is ready or whatever the case. So in the analog, these are the different models. As I mentioned, we also do have the new 30-watt analog speaker, so the horn. So that makes it a lot easier for most environments because a lot of the guys are familiar with the 30-watt devices on analog. All right, they are IP rated, so definitely have a look. Some of the indoor ones are not IP rated, so keep that in mind. Moving on, so in that analog amplifier, this is the option. You have USBs in the front. You have different settings in the front area, so it's nice to play around with. We also have the IP version as well, with a text-to-speech that's in there, different volume controls, and also built-in storage on the device itself. Just a close-up video or picture of that itself, indicating to you straightforward, very simple to use on the analog side. You've got your microphones, you can have inputs itself, you have play and pause and forward or skip buttons. You have different modes that you can use. You can use Bluetooth as an example, or maybe auxiliary input. So there's different ways that you can do that. There are also at the back where the connections, there are different wattage outputs that you can use itself. So definitely have a look at that. My apologies. So upgrading itself, it makes it very convenient for you to upgrade the firmware of these devices, especially the ones that are IP. So it makes it very convenient. So if there is any issue or any new ways of using things, you have that capability. And then we get into the sensor side itself. So in these devices, just want to quickly highlight this. The first one is an actual camera with built-in microphones. There are two different models. One is just a normal one itself, and the other one has a built-in slot for SIM card. This allows us to connect it just by power, mount it somewhere, and put a SIM card in it. It will work. I'm going to highlight it just now how that works. Then for the fiber sensors itself, we'll get into that also a little bit later on. I'm very excited about this. Very nice unit. So first of all, when it comes to this image sound device itself, you have the standard version and then you have the 4G version, as I mentioned. This looks at a specific area to be able to focus on the sound of a specific area. So wherever it's making a noise, it will basically focus on where the noise structure is. So just a nice close-up image of that. So in that image, it will show you there's a noise there or there's a noise there. It's designed to exclude any other back noises or any other noises that you don't need. So only the high-pitched versions that you require. So these devices are linked for certain environments. Maybe they are piping, maybe there's gas. This camera looks at the area and the microphones will concentrate on where the sound is coming from. So especially designed for that high-pitched voices sound. So each different item out there, so whether it's maybe gas that is leaking, has a different pitch itself. Maybe it is electricity that where it's, there's too much ampage and maybe it's going to trip or whatever the case is, it's overheating, that will make a different noise. So it's nice to know that there are different levels itself that we can pick up. So that makes it a lot easier. These devices are waterproof and they're designed for 24-hour use for long distance. So just to give you an idea, let's just play this video. My apologies if there's no sound in the video, but you can definitely go onto our YouTube channel, download this material, and you'll see it. Yeah, a very short video. Where can we use this? Multiple different places. Right. So moving forward, in the fiber side itself, there's quite a bit of technology that's changed over there. In the fiber side, we have our own fiber sensors itself. These sensing focus on vibration and temperature and so much more. We only at the first front of these devices, right? These devices will focus on any pipelines, any environment. So as an example, wherever there's a fence itself and it's a long distance, anyone that touches that fence, it will notify you that someone is at that fence. Even if there's a train that's going past that fence or truck that's driving past it, whatever the case is, it's specially designed for that vibration and touch and temperature and stuff like that. So special product itself. Definitely, if you want more information, go into more depth. So as I mentioned, there's a few different units available. Unfortunately, we don't have the videos on this material to show you, but I can explain to you. So on the vibration one, the nice thing about these ones are, like I said, for long distance, fence line, the maximum we can do is up to 50 kilometers. And then you have the temperature one. So for any temperature piping environment, perfect environment to tell you that these are changes, maybe in cables, electricity, etc. So, and it's safe. It's, safe to use. And the next one is obviously just focusing on the vibration in all those different areas. So risk-wise, it's much better due to the fact that there is no, how can I say, there's no electricity running through it. It's just light. It's an optic fiber cable. It's a fiber cable. So with that light that's going through, it won't do any harm. So any gas, environment, explosives, etc. Long distance, pinpoint location, 24-hour use, and there's so much more. Let's get into a little bit more detail. So there are different models available from a 5-kilometer dual channel, a 10-kilometer dual channel, and a 50-kilometer dual channel. So that's pretty far, 50 kilometers itself, and that can be managed with your Excentral itself. That is the Excentral on your fiber. So it makes it a lot better. Let's get into a little bit more, but my presentation doesn't want to move on. There we go. So it's moving on. So with the vibration one, as I mentioned, this is designed for harsh environments, long distance, and this is the next step. So just to show you, we're going to click on this video. Right. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but that is pretty cool. So wherever the person is trying to climb over the fence, the camera can be linked and pan and tilt and zoom into that area. Maybe they are busy digging for new piping or whatever the case might be. So before they get to that to damage it, you can get that warning and go and stop them and say, please don't dig here, you're going to damage our cable. Makes it very nice for large environment areas. Right. Moving forward, we're not going to carry on with the rest of that. So fence line, you have the unit, but please remember it's a dual zone, so which means if you want that accuracy, it's line going in and line going back in again. So it's just a loop itself of that fiber cable. For the topology, we can go really large itself. This falls under our HIG-DASH department. This is a new Algrim department that we've developed itself. Proud of Hikvision for doing so. Much appreciation for technology-wise and future Algrim. In this Algrim, there are different vibrations, different sounds, different echoes, etc. So we focus on that and how we can link it to security devices. Deep learning Algrim makes a lot easier. So the HIG-DASH Algrim has grown quite a bit in a very short little period of time. In that short period of time, there's quite a bit more that we can do. So I know the audio is not there, but please go and have a look at the material and you'll find the audio. So rain has a different sound effect itself for the Algrim. Snow has a different effect. Wind has a different effect. Maybe how can I say, a train passing by. Maybe someone is busy with a jackhammer, busy working or digging. There are different sound effects, and this system is designed for that environment. Harsh environment, giving you accuracy. And having that linking action with our deep learning Algrim. So as soon as it detects there's something, it will tell the security devices, sorry, to start recording in that area, making it a lot more accessible. Right. So also auto tracking, it's also available on these devices with the PTZ linking action from auto tracking 1.0 to 2.0. And then from the back of the unit, just to show you, there's obviously the software for the fiber and also the fiber box itself. So this is a nice show just to explain to you that dual channel. Channel 1, the cables will go all around itself, or the cable will go all around itself, and then come back into channel 2. If someone cuts it, it will also warn you pinpoint location where that is. All right, so that is it in a nutshell. Please have a look at the material. Please visit our e-learning platform to know a little bit more about the training material. Have a look at our YouTube channel. We've got quite a bit more videos regarding our material and everything. I'm going to hand over to Palesa, and I'm going to run away and start with my training because I'm extremely late. Thank you, Palesa.
Okay, Ivan. But I need a question now.
I don't have a question for you. Sorry.
No problem. Thank you so much, Ivan. Good luck with your training.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks. Bye.